so now that we have Active Directory up and running, how do we figure out what we've got in it? Well, I want to introduce you to a couple of commandlets here that are going to let us begin to explore Active Directory. So we're going to start by looking for user information. And the command we're going to use is get AD users, or get AD user. So if I just do a get AD user, it it needs a filter in order to be able to function. So it needs to know what it is that we're looking for. Now, if you do an asterisk here, it will get information on all AD users. But a little bit of an idiosyncrasy here. If I get AD user asterisk, it can't find it. That's because it's looking for something specifically with an asterisk as a name. So I can specify a single user, get AD user administrator, and it'll find, if I can spell administrator correctly, and it will find my AD user administrator. But if I want to search for everything, I have to use a filter. Now the filter is actually really powerful. It's got a little bit of a funky funky syntax. So I'm going to do get AD user dash filter, and then I'm looking for a name that is like asterisk. And you'll notice here my filter is in single quotes. I'm looking for like, and I need to use a dash like if I'm going to use wildcards. And then what I'm looking for is in double quotes, and then I end it off in a single quote. And that will give me all of my AD users. So, useful little tool here. Now, in this filter, I'm telling it to filter on name. I could filter on anything that I wanted to. So I could filter on SID, I could filter on SAM account name, I could filter on whether it's enabled or not. I mean, they can filter on just about everything using the filter, and that's really kind of cool. Now, one little drawback here, though, as I'm doing this, this is displaying in a list for me, and it's giving me a fair amount of information, but what if I don't need all of that information? Well, what I can do is, this is just 3 accounts, right? If I had a massive number of accounts, that would get really long in a hurry. So one of the things that we'll do if we don't need all that information and we want to shorten up this list, we can format the output. Now, there are a handful of format commands. So there's format list, and that's what it defaults to, is a list format. We can also do a format table. Now, if I'm going to do a format table, it'll put it in a table layout for me, but I may want to tighten that up a little bit. I might not need all of this information. So I can do a format table and then tell it I just want the user name. And now that'll give me just the name of all of my users. And for my format table, if I want to do multiple columns, so let me say I wanted to do name and I wanted to know if it's enabled. By the way, it doesn't have to. You see I'm using sentence case here. I don't have to. I'm doing it because it displays in sentence case up here. If I did it without that, let's say I did name all lowercase and enabled in all caps, it would display name in all lowercase and enabled in all caps. But you've got to actually spell the word correctly. I don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to go back here. Name and enabled. All right, so I can put in as many or as few things here in my table as I want. And I can do that if I'm doing using a filter, or even if I'm just looking for a specific account administrator. Okay, so get AD user will let me look for specific AD users and find information about specific AD users. But there is another one that is really powerful, and that is the search AD user command. So I'm going to do a get help on search dash AD user. And I should have piped that to more. And on top of that, I got the command wrong. So let's do a get command with a verb of, and I believe it's search. So let me see if I can find it. Search AD account. There we go, not AD user. So let's do get help on search AD account, and this time I'm going to remember to pipe it through more. All right, so what this does is this searches for accounts that match specific things. So I can search AD account, show me all of my accounts that are disabled. Search AD account, this one will show me all accounts that are expired, or that are expiring, or that are inactive, or that are locked out, or that are, well, you get the idea. So this becomes really, really useful. Let me do a search AD account for accounts that have a password never expires. And that'll show me all of my accounts that match that particular requirement, that the password never expires. And at the moment, the only one that I have is guest, which is fine. What about search AD account for, and let me make sure I get it right because I don't want to type in the wrong thing and have to start this all over again. I want account disabled. That's the one that I want. So let me search for dash account disabled. And that's going to show me a handful of them. So I want to shorten that. So I'm going to filter the output and do a format table, and I just want to see the name. And so KR, there we go. The service account and the guest account are both disabled. The KRB TGT is a Kerberos account. So those two are currently account disabled. And you can see how we can use that to gather information about our current account. So that is a really powerful, really useful command. Now, one more that I want us to look at is the AD group. So we're going to do get AD group. And you're going to see here we have the same issue that we had with the AD account. It needs that filter. If I do the filter asterisk, it'll show me all of my AD groups. And again, that's a pretty long list. So let me get, oh, and we have the same thing. If I do get AD group with an asterisk, it won't work. But if I do get AD group administrators, it will show me the individual ones. So if I want to search for all of them, it's get AD group dash filter. And then my filter, I'm going to do name is like asterisk. And this will show me all of my AD groups. And then if I want to format that, pipe that to format table. And for this one, I'm going to want to know the name, the group category, and the group scope. And then I'm going to go ahead and pipe that to more as well. And so here's our table. The name for all of our built-in groups, the group category, and the group scope. Now, using that filter, I'm filtering on name right now, right? I can also filter on group scope or group category or anything else that I want to filter. In fact, let me clear out of there. And let's do get help for get AD group. And let's look at some examples. And these will show you some examples of, do I need to update my help? Let's do an update help and see if we can get that to update for us. And now that I'm not seeing it, I'm wondering if I have accidentally disabled this thing from the my local network, which I might have actually. Anyway, rather than redoing this whole thing, Hey, maybe we are actually working. The get help, get AD group dash examples is going to give you some examples of different ways. Hey, we are getting there. Of different ways that you can use that, and it will specifically give you some examples of using the help con or the filter. And that can be, pardon the pun, really helpful because that filter option will let you do quite a bit and help you isolate and locate specific information that you're looking for. So, I'm just going to let this thing keep running and updating, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now and just let you know that that's a command that you should take a look at once you make sure that your help is updated.